Is he boomed? I mean, he may be boomed. That's a pretty anticlimactic way to go out, though. What's up, guys? That guy with a... Hold on. Yeah! Pencil here from Fat. I do one, too. Have it on me. And keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact. Here we are for chapter 200. Wait. I don't trust Fujiwara. Here's the thing. I was a million about to say, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to chapter 214, Creek Door. But since I still don't trust Fujiwara as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw him at all, because I don't know how big Fujiwara is, but I ain't that strong, I'm going to do a little something that I've been doing to save myself. Notably, I did have friends who read this chapter before. They just didn't tell me anything, though. They were like, I cannot... Which does actually scare me a little bit. In fact, the chapter I see there at the bottom of this, the chapter is only 16 pages. So that means it's really only 14 pages. So it's going to be like a real short chapter. So I mean, like a real short review for those who like short reviews. But that's the thing. My friend said they couldn't tell me anything without like spoiling the entire chapter. So I don't think anything bad is in there because simply they'll warn me. They'll like go out of their way to warn me if something devious and diabolical was happening in the chapter. But just in case, I still will have another copy of the chapter open in a separate tab to make sure that nothing too devious happens, because I like Fujimoto. I trust Fujimoto. Fujimoto's a real cool cat. They're also rather devious, though. So let's see. Chapter 214. Or is that like BFF or Boof? Or like... We'll go with Boof. Chapter 214. Boof Creek Door. Alright. But you know what? Hey, I mean, for what looked like a darn near point-blank explosion, Denji... He mostly ate it, though. Like, obviously. But wait, what happened? I don't see this. I mean, maybe it's just in his back, though. It's hard to tell if it, like, went... It looks like it went through him, but, like, he ate a point-blank explosion pretty well. But, like, why? Who did that to him? Like, I mean, maybe it was public safety? Because, obviously, Yoshida worked for public safety. But, like, why would they want to boom Chainsaw Man now? Like, you still need him to erase death, don't you? Like, well, what was the point of that? Like, what? I don't get the point of the explosion. Maybe that, but and once again, as people pointed out, I don't think it's Yoru either. Because, like people mentioned, and I kind of forgot about, Yoru can weaponize people from insane ranges. Remember, she weaponized her own kids before her Giga Amp, mind you, right? Before her Giga Amp, she weaponized Spagooter and Tank, who were literally on what? Darn near the other side of the planet. I think, was Spagooter in America? I actually forget. I think Tank was in... I forget where they were, but they weren't in Japan. let's say that. They weren't in Japan. And like I said, that was before Yoru's Giga Amp from La Bomba Nuclear being reborn. So, like, she could have easily weaponized Denji, but she didn't. And I highly doubt if she knew Denji was there, which she very likely did, I doubt she would boom him. So I wonder what the motivation here for booming everything was. Like Yoshida said, he had a role to play, but, like, why a role of booming? I don't know. Let's see. So Denji getting back shots. Not simultaneously not on my bingo card, but not too surprising. Is that bad? I think that's bad. like yeah, I feel bad for bro. He did get back shot, but like I'm not too shocked and or surprised that these things do happen to you. Let's see. He just collapses. Oh, but you know what I like? I like that even the SFX, I think they'd be SFX, yeah. Even the SFX are like wobbly. Like representing how like shaky Denji is on his own feet right now. Like look at how instead of like the solid lines that is used for the manga paneling, you can see that the lines themselves are like wobbly and shaky. As interesting, there's a roar in the back. I'm assuming it's a roar of the fire though. And you know what? This is actually well, obviously fire comes after explosions, but this is a really good play on how the Fire D themselves had a really sour opinion of Denji. Right? The last interaction he had with that before it left was like, you suck. Like, you suck really bad. Like these kids actually took care of your boy, and you were a terrible person, and something bad's about to happen to you, gang. So I guess this is what Fire was talking about, and it makes sense now that they said that, and we're at this point. Look at Denji, consumed in a well of fire. Well, not consumed, obviously. He did make it out because his name is still in the manga, so you know our boy's gonna have to make it out. But let's see. We go to the second page. All right, second page safe. Second page safe. You know what, though? I give Denji credit for not freaking... well, who knows? I'm only 2 pages in. But he does seem... Well, he is probably just in shock, though, if I had to hazard a guess. Because he literally just... He sits down, looks at the... Oh, no. Is Yoshida actually boomed? Yoshida actually move? Those don't look like. I'm gonna say he actually looks relatively stable. Those don't look like well, that's the rain. I'm gonna say maybe sweating, but no, I think it is just the rain downpouring. Let me see. He looks a little bit directly traumatized. Let's see. Page 3. You gonna be safe? Oh, it's safe. Oh, it's safe. Oh, and he's bleeding. Ah. Okay, now okay. Now we're gonna put pause. Let's play the tape. How do I feel about this? If this truly is the end of Yoshida, right? Because I assume this is what this is, right? Denji's in shock because he sees Yoshida. One of the few people, ironically enough, from his yo. And normally I like Kishibe, but I wasn't the most crazy fan of the guy. But where is that man? The manga's over. Are we not getting Kishibe? I mean, we're probably not getting another Blood Fiend at this point. We're definitely not getting Reise back. I feel like it's kind of way too late now. And did Kishibe die off? It is weird. Almost every other major character from Part 1 reappeared. But not Kishibe. Not even unless I'm tweaking, we haven't even gotten a mention of the guy. Part 2 has not recently. It's surpassed Part 1. Let's see, we're on chapter 214. Part 1 ended on chapter 98 or 97, I forget. But essentially, we're at least 10 chapters over where Part 1 ended. And I don't think Kishibe's even gotten a mention. Did he perish off screen? It does feel weird because Yoshida is, if I'm thinking about it, is he, outside of Nayusa, obviously, who was an end of Part 1 character, so I feel like she really counts. He was kind of Denji's only link back to life in a way. Or at least that time in his life. Everyone else Denji's met in Part 2 is new, right? Because Yoru, Asa, both new. Fami, who ended up being Lil D, new. The new family he kind of met, but not really. New. Falling. I'm trying to think of all the major characters that Denji had more than one interaction with. I guess the only what's the guy's name? Hold on. I'm gonna look it up his name. But then again, Denji never actually interacted with him normally, I don't think. Let me see. Is it not? It's Sword Hybrid. He's not a fiend. Let me think. Chainsaw Man. I don't know why my brain was lagging. Let me see. Chainsaw Man. Mirisuga. Technically, he is also a Part 1 character brought back in Part 2, but Denji didn't really have a dynamic with him. So Yoshida is the only person that Denji knew from Part 1. And now, once again, we're just building into this idea that Denji's alone again. And obviously, Yoru abandoned him, which kind of left him alone, but then obviously what's Fumiko came in and was like, well, actually, it's very clear that War loves you, dog. She easily could have diffed you, but she didn't because she loves you. So, he's alone physically, but not necessarily alone emotionally. But once again, Yoru/Asa is a new connection. It's something that he gained in Part 2. And now Yoshida it's funny, out of all characters who ends up being the last remnant of Part 1 outside of Denji himself, it's strange that it's Yoshida, and it's strange that it just ends like this. It felt I know for a fact it isn't just me. I know I'm not crazy. I am crazy in many ways, but I'm not crazy in this. A lot of people expected a lot more out of Yoshida. Don't get me wrong, Yoshida did a lot, but it's how do I put this? He did a lot, but not in the same way that I think people were the way Yoshida was built up, talked around, the weird showings he had in Part 1 especially, and even throughout Part 2. It felt like he was going to be a character relevant even more than he was. And I think if this is truly him shuffling off this mortal coil, it's kind of crazy to just drop it like this, but at the same time, I somewhat understand it, right? Because we're this is it. We're in Endgame, right? Who knows what the real Endgame is? I've seen a lot of people kind of pseudo agree with me in the idea that and that is one thing I do want to correct from last review. I guess I did have it wrong. I think I was so focused on the idea of La Mama Nuclear was reborn, so everything can be reborn. Y'all are technically right. It seems unlikely that Denji/Chainsaw Man could really properly but then well, Makima remembered them. She remembered at least a number of them. That's the thing, right? I'm trying to format this properly. Essentially, last review I was going on heavily about the idea of erasing the primal fears. And very specifically erasing the horsemen, and obviously erasing either Fami, or in real particular, Lil D, and like how bad that would be. But ultimately, in that review, I sort of came to the idea of, well, if concepts can just be reborn in different ways, completely autonomously, wouldn't Lil D just be reborn, just in another shape and or form? But like y'all pointed out, the only reason La Bamba Nuclear was able to be reborn is because that is literally a man-made thing. Like, that is a thing that is created. It's not like a fundamental aspect of the universe. Same thing with why Yoru hypothetically could be reborn. Because there are swords, there are Splaguna, like, there are things that would lead to armed conflict between humans. So thusly, a concept that is innately man-made, like war, would be able to be reborn. But something as innate as starvation, which is just an innate biological factor, probably wouldn't be able to be reborn if it was consumed. Something like death probably wouldn't be able to be reborn if it was consumed, because they are fundamental aspects. Kind of like how technically consuming falling may have had weird effects and or would have been permanent, just because it's hard to imagine a fundamental aspect of the universe like gravity just disappearing and then being remade. Just considering it's all based around like human cognition and stuff like that. Funnily enough, I don't know why it's only clicked with me now. Chainsaw Man is so, like, obviously, I'm not sure what Fujimoto is inspired by. I haven't actually done too much of a deep dive on Fujimoto's inspirations. But very specifically, it's giving me heavy Persona vibes. And I'm not even talking like Persona, well, I guess I can kind of see. In certain senses, I can, well, actually, funnily enough, so many people are against death in their reign that I can't actually say Persona 3. But it's essentially the first and second Persona games. I know the ones no one cares about. People care about. People want a remake for that. But I don't know. If we really went from remaking 3 to 4, we're never getting the first two Persona games remade. But a lot of those games, and obviously even the later ones, like especially 5. 5 is a lot also based on like cognition and stuff like that, naturally. But the Persona series in general is so heavily based on like human cognition and what that means, and like how, in a way, we humans create our own, well, not just create our own fears, but like by believing in certain things, we empower certain things. And obviously, Chainsaw Man is a very similar universe to that. So I do wonder, well, similar in the sense that the more something is feared, the more powerful it becomes. But with that being the case, I do genuinely wonder if that was like an intentional call or intentional rip. Is it just like shared inspiration? Is it like what's it called? Not like convergent evolution, but not like, I think it's convergent evolution, essentially when two things evolve in a similar way, but they aren't actually like interlinked at all. It's like whales and fish, right? Like they just went down a similar path because it was optimal, but they aren't actually related at all. I wonder if that's the same case here, because I believe Persona, it's Al Ewing who has like the whole philosophy on cognition, and I know it isn't just Persona that they inspired. I think they also inspired a good chunk of SMT. Yeah, they did. They definitely did. And a bunch of other stuff. So maybe that's the case where just Al Ewing's works in general, but just all the ideas of cognition and how those things interact and how they wouldn't interact in the Chainsaw Man universe in particular is very, very interesting. And it does, honestly, I get why Fujimoto didn't do it. I don't think Fujimoto will, but it does honestly make me want to see a world where something like Falling was consumed and not just made in the clothes, where something like Famine was consumed. Like, I just want to see those non-rebirthable concepts. I want to see what that world would be like. We kind of do have multiple ideas of like a world of eternal people, like stories like that, but like very specifically concepts like famine or falling, or realistically even like a world without war, which would probably be reinvented just by how stuff like that functions. But so it'd be interesting just to see, if only for a little bit. So we'll see. But sorry, I got completely sidetracked because I remembered that tangent I did want to cover. Thank you for everyone who did correct your boy. But I do want to link back and loop back around to Yoshida and his end here, which I'm assuming is his end. I think Fujimoto did a fantastic job making me overly invested in a character who didn't actually end up doing much. And notably, under most circumstances, I would complain about that, but this feels like Fujimoto in almost intentionally cutting this line short, right? And very specifically cutting it short to like maybe break something in Denji. Because once again, look at his face, man. Like that's not the face of a man who's functioning. Obviously, you know, he's burned and sweating and soaked in rain, but like that's a man who's like realizing, oh, it's over. Oh, it's like everything I am, everything like that at this moment, especially when he's in this already deep state of emotional turmoil. Like, remember, last chapter before Yoshida showed up, he was like going back and forth on the idea of what should I do, what shouldn't I do, who should I side with, who should I not side with. He knows he's being manipulated, but he doesn't know what to do about that. Putting this like just break right in the middle of this intense thought process, especially after he had the dopamine rush of like eating and connecting with someone who he considered a friend, and clearly even to some degree Yoshida considered him a friend. Yeah, it's rough. But let's see. Page 2, page 3. Safe. All right. So. Is that who I think it is? Is that the guy who served him? Now he just had him on the plate. This did not go good for you last time, but then again, I guess Chainsaw Man didn't eat him, so of course he's gonna be alive. And he's a hybrid, so he's always gonna come back. I think this is. But then again, no, he's wielding looks like he's wielding something like flamethrower of some sort. I'm not sure if he's like. Hold on. If he's actually the reason behind this dog. Yo, he may be right beneath Makima in terms of Chainsaw Man antagonist, dog. I think he already won, but like, no, there's no way. Let's see. Okay. So we're looking. It looks like we're looking through Denji's POV of him looking at Yoshida. I'm not sure what this is though. Maybe a finger. Let's see. Oh, that wasn't a finger. That was the tip of the flamethrower. Oh, okay. So unless I was really convincing about Yoshida's actually literally cooked in this case. Huh. And once again, it's very interesting. It's almost as if the brain, you want to work. It's almost as if the SFX are really they're coming out of Denji. Because once again, look at how shaky they are. This could be more red is less shaky and more fire. You can even read these, but these look more wobbly. Meanwhile, this looks like, a bit more flamethrower. But I do think this is like a direct showing of Denji's mind literally breaking. And like, why is he? Hold on, what's this guy's name? I'm not even gonna pretend that I remember this guy's name. I didn't remember Sword Hyper guy's name. I'm not gonna remember. I just know I think he's Flamethrower Man, right? Flamethrower, hybrid, Barem. There we go. Barem. Just like the most terrible person ever terrible. And like, I'm not saying that's an entirely bad thing, but it's just crazy now. Like, and notably, at least in this case, it doesn't look like he's taking pleasure in it. He's just doing it. Like he's just like, whatever. Gotta pay these bills somehow. Like it's so detached. That's crazy. Okay, let's see. So he burns Yoshida a lot. Oh, never mind. looks like he is enjoying it. Yeah, Denji, and yeah. And Pochita's about to come out, isn't he? Because the last time something like this happened, the last time someone was from part 1 was taken away from Denji by Barem specifically, a certain someone came out to play. And no, I feel like that wasn't that long. Was that last year? I swear that wasn't even that long ago in terms of like part 2. It looks like because look at that. He's big cheese as he does it too. And Denji's jaw is just dropped. Yo, and notably, I do love my characters that suffer, especially my main characters. You want to make me like your character? Torture them, do horrible things to them. But like, this is insane. This is the next like the way that people claim that Kagutami hates Itadori and Gojo. And like notably, I don't even think that Fujimoto hates Denji, but like the way people think Itadori's treated in JJK is how Denji's actually treated in Chainsaw Man, bro. Like you could genuinely, Fujimoto could come out tomorrow and be like, it is my life's goal to make Denji's life as horrifically horrible as possible. I'd be like, yeah, I have enough reading comprehension to see that. Let's see. Hiromi Hirofumi Yoshida. He kind of lost his smile a little bit. Let's see. What is that? But what does that mean? Okay. Hirofumi Yoshida. We sure both drew the short straw. But like, in what way? I mean, like, I guess maybe he knows he's about to get violated again. That's Pochita. But you know what? Unless I'm mistaken, and I would have to go back and check. I think Pochita came out as like an involuntary response last time when he saw Nayuta's head on the plate, and like Pochita essentially ripped out of Denji. I think this is a conscientious decision. The fact that the pull of the starter is here, I think this is Denji fully tweaking out. The thing, and that's the thing though, I do wonder if we're getting Pochita, how long are we getting Pochita? Because we still are keeping these two separate characters. Like, unless this is Denji actually starting to properly get control over that form, like I've seen many people call it Chainsaw Man Black. Unless he's starting to get actual control over that form, I actually don't want Pochita to be out for all too long. Because Pochita is like the guardian deity. I do want to see Denji fight himself. But then again, who is he going to fight now? Like, I don't know. Let's see. We sure both drew the short straw. Whoa! Okay. What'd you think was gonna happen, bro? Oh! Yeah. So at least seemingly. Oh, bad. Actually interesting, though. This is what Pochita raps on. Like, that is his meaty flesh tentacle thing. But Denji is still... Oh, but Denji's still there. He's still there. But he started the... You can see it, yeah. So at first, it's very interesting. It looks like he transformed with that first, right? Like, that came out of his back first. And then the chainsaw comes out. And then... Well, actually, maybe he's not gonna go put it because this still could be just base Denji. Maybe he's just evolving that much. It looks like Barem is actually generally scared this time. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Oh, never mind. Oh, what did I say about that? Possibly not Big Pochita. Oh. I shouldn't be laughing. But you know what? Catharsis of all catharsis. And this will actually get rid of him, right? Well, actually, no, because it'll erase him. It'll actually get rid of him. Yeah, I think he's actually genuinely... Hey, wait! Ow! It hurts! Dog, you just presumably helped blow up one of his last homies and then lit him on fire. Are you really surprised? Are you really shocked? You're lucky he's doing you. He could have done you head first, dog. He at least he took an arm off too. Darn. When did he do that? When did he take an arm off? I actually can't tell. I can't tell when he took an arm off. But like, yeah, Barem is missing an arm and everything. He's just getting slurped down. But you know what? Catharsis. And you know what I like? If whether this is actively Denji's mind controlling the Pochita body and or it is Chainsaw Man Pochita himself, I like how they're learning from their mistake, right? Like, ultimately, last time, they wilded out and just destroyed everything, and thusly Barem lived to come and do this. But now Pochita's like, no, I'm just gonna erase you. Like, and notably, there was a big thing that, right, Pochita went out of their way to eat and consume concepts that once, like, were the definition and, like, define Denji's sadness. But this time, he's not consuming that he's just consuming the man. The man that is the source of Denji's sadness in this case. Once more, like, not necessarily addressing the symptoms, like the loose area, he's going straight for the source of the despair of Denji and consuming him. But let's see. Ow! That hurts! I should be able to show this just fine. I've shown worse from Chainsaw Man. Let's see. Oh yeah, so wait, he's getting fully doubled on. Oh, you stupid! Kill me before. What's that? Yeah, why not? Kill me before you eat me. Hey, But that's smart because once again, Pochita and or Denji learning from their mistakes. If they did not eat him alive, he'd probably come back. But very specifically, leaving Barem in tank. Yo, his mouth is huge. Talk about an unhinged JR, brother. Like, like that's how big span. But that's a smart way of showing how much Yoshida has evolved as a fighter, or Denji has evolved, or both. Realistically, that's the thing. I do, if this truly is, but then again, it looks so much like just plain old Yoshida. But if this truly is the final battle, because it feels like we're getting there. It feels like we kind of have to be there now. Like I do not see Chainsaw Man going past like chapter. Is 230 too low? Can we wrap this up in 16 chapters? I mean, really, like, who are we fighting now? I guess the only thing is I don't know who exactly we're gonna be fighting, but I can see. I don't think Chainsaw Man's making past the 250s, dog. So like, we're in the end game. But I do hope Denji gets to be an active part of the end game, and not in the same way that it was at the end of part one. Notably, I do think Denji had a really good way to end part one and defeat Makima. But I do want Denji to actually do some of the combat himself and not just be like mostly a Pochita showcase, then ending with a Denji combat showing. Let's see. That's what you deserve. I don't even feel a iota of sadness for you, dog. But then again, just as I feel like Fujimoto did a fantastic job of building up Yoshida as a character who a lot of us, myself included, expected more from, but ultimately their conclusion, while tragic and seemingly off-kilter and short, or not like short-sighted, but like just short in general, like very curt, I do think enough time, and it's funny because Barem has like a fraction of the screen time that Yoshida does, but I don't like him. And I'm confident, like, no one, like, I've never seen a single Barem fan out there. Never seen any Barem fan art, none of that. So I think Fujimoto did a fantastic job of taking this character who had very limited screen time and also making him so thoroughly hateable. To the point where I'm like laughing. I literally, like, it almost feels a little bit insane that this image caused me to burst into laughter. Well, it's because I just don't like that guy that much. That's how much I don't like him. Like, my immediate response was to laugh at his demise rather than anything else because he's that terrible person. Hey, that's how you write a good hateable character. I can't even have us. That hurts. Hold on, let me see. Oh, hello, gang. What brought the? Yep, and he's gone. And he's, yo, what was they just talking about? I could have sworn Pochita was eating something. Could have been that important if I can't remember. But hey, Lil D and Fami both are here. Good to see. And interesting, they were well, maybe they just healed, but it looks like they were entirely unharmed by the explosion. Interesting. I wonder if some of that was still, because we know they did, or at least Lil D had ties to public safety. So I do wonder if some of that was orchestrated by them in particular. Because it's strange that neither of them are harmed by the explosion. Obviously, we just don't know Lil D's capabilities at this point. But especially for Fami, we know they can take damage, but they are both entirely unscathed. So that's actually a little interesting. Because I don't think there are any humans around for Fami specifically to feed life force off of. So that's actually a little intrigued. I'm intrigued. Let's see.
Oh, thank goodness. Chainsaw Man didn't take our lives. It seems he understands how dangerous this incoming
Who? Who's more dangerous than you? Is it you? Are we really living straight? Who's coming? Who's coming? Wait! Hold on. I gotta do something.
Googler, back me.
It was the door, right? It was the door. Am I tweaking, or is this just an entrance? Was it just an entrance? Yeah, no. This was a centaur. Six-fingered. Where's the door? Hold on. Am I tweaking or to? Because I think this is the door that led them. Hold on. Yeah. So interesting. So they're being cast into the underworld by what looks like the HD. H is the location that D's have been originating. They return. Overview. Grassy flower. Countless doors. Yeah, countless doors of parallel sky. So a door appearing in the... Okay. And interesting. Even not just obviously Fami, very, very like scared of everything. But even Lil D is like they're actually shocked this is happening. So that's interesting. Hold on. What's happening? Is that... but that's the start of the chapter. Creek... so it may have actually been BFF, Best Business Forever. Creek... Oh, okay, so the whole chapter. Alright, so that's the end of the chat. Yeah. Wait a second. Hold on. Wait a minute. Because I remember... The underworld was portrayed like this, but it looks like are the worlds merging? Yo, is this the Deltarune roaring and Chainsaw? Wait, what? And we're gonna get Fami, Pochita, and Lil D versus what looks like the underworld itself. Hold on, for sure. A W chapter, crazy, a crazy chapter. It made me, but like a very meaty W chapter. I do say so myself. Butter my behind and call it a biscuit. This was fire, and I think it was fire for a couple different reasons, right? Notably, despite only being 12 pages, like darn, how did I see? Sometimes I swear I don't intend to yap as long as I do, but it do be happening where sometimes I just fall into like discussion loops, but. Very just, well, it's more than 12 pages. It's like 13 pages because these are both listed as page 1 on the website. But very specifically, I love how Denji doesn't say a word this chapter. He's a man of pure action. Like this is some of Fujimoto's best visual storytelling period. And like this is everything, right? Not just from like the rigid paneling, but from Denji crawling out of the fire to having like once again having what looks like his heart pierced, right? Like notably left side of his chest and everything. There's literally a stake through his heart, right? Like the last thing that was holding his heart together, pierced through, done over with, but he's still a man living, but a man in absolute shock, a man burnt, a man torn apart, watching as one of the last people he knew from that old life fade away before his very eyes. And it looks like maybe, just maybe, if he was left to leave, if he just saw Yoshi's body, if he didn't have any explanation for the explosion, if Barem didn't show up, maybe Denji would not have cracked. Maybe he would have still stayed sane in some degree. Maybe he would have said something. But notably with Barem's appearance, and very specifically Barem's glee in absolute destruction of Yoshida, even if he does give quote-unquote respects to the idea that they both threw the short straw, Denji's visceral reaction here, the immediate appearance of Pochita, or just this transformation at all, and the conscientious activation of it this time, beautiful. So much said with not a single word on Denji's side. Barem, once again, a character that I just love to hate. You know, like sometimes you really like to dislike a character, and Barem is that character supreme. One of the best hateable, especially for, like I say, for how little screen time I feel like he really has in part 2, and what little showing he has in part 1. A fantastic showcase and utilization of character screen time. So his deletion here, perfect. In how the deletion even speaks to whether this is Denji or Bushida's learning of it as a character. The last tragedy they lost let this guy get away. This time they're not going to let him get away. And thusly, he was erased permanently this time. In fact, who was I even talking about? And then, of course, Pochita standing alongside the two horsemen of the calamities, right? Or like the two of the four horsemen now facing against seemingly the underworld itself. Kind of like an inverse of the battle where it was the horsemen converging on Pochita, who was running rampant through the underworld. Now it's the underworld about to run rampant through the real world, being faced down by Pochita, Fami, and Lil D. So overall, just a W chapter all around, band for band, and even Yoshi, like, just a really good chapter. If you made it all the way to this video, please do me a favor and leave sirens, because I hear sirens going off in the background, and might as well stick with that. So leave sirens, SIRENS, in the comment section down below. I think thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you have a Patreon down below where you support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include live reactions to the series I'm to review, and variations of all my videos. And if you become a $20 Patreon or a $20 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, the link to my co-fans down below. You drop 5 minutes for a short video, 20 minutes long video, or any means at all. Your support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Back of the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Ura, Alex Kenny, Enzo, Swift Strike, Autumn Mornings Lazo, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, Azo2404, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: Victor Raji, Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Dreadzoen, and A+A. I'd like to give a big old thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, Euchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. And I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: Jay Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz.